it says, great crowds accompanied him. So there was a point in Jesus' ministry when he had crowds of people. Some say there were thousands of people at this point following him because they saw these miracles. But look what Jesus said. It says he turned to the crowd and he said to them, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not bear his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Okay, this is so different from how I hear people talk about Jesus. See, in churches, when there's a crowd, like right now, look at this crowd of people. Usually, as a church leader, we think, wow, this is so great that you guys came. Man, next week, bring a friend, and we'll have even more people, and you encourage people to come. But that's not what Jesus did. Jesus would look at a crowd and go, are you sure you want to follow me? He says, you understand. I mean, it's right there. These great crowds. He goes, hey, if anyone comes to me, I can't have you love your father, your mother, your wife, your children, even your own life more than you love me. And so if you want to hold on to your life and control it and just throw me in the back seat, it's not going to happen. I come as the Lord of your life. And the more I studied the scriptures, the more I saw over and over and over again that God comes as the Lord of our lives. But when I was your age, I saw that as difficult. I mean, it's always going to be difficult. But what I didn't understand is the lordship of Jesus Christ is actually good news. See, it's actually good news that we have a king. It's actually good news that we don't have to drive. It's actually good news that he's going to take us in some places that will be difficult. And I've gone through hardship in my life. But I look back and I go, gosh, I'm actually really glad I went through those things. At the time, was it difficult? I wish I had hours to talk you through trials and everything else. I'm just telling you at this stage of my life, I'm going, God, I am so grateful for all the places you've taken me, even when it's difficult. See, most of us grew up in a culture that doesn't like authority. But you got to understand, we're talking about this. Think about this. That God in heaven, who's controlling every breath, who's so holy the angels are covering themselves up, so holy that I can't even look at him right now. But the Bible says that God so loves me. So you've got to understand how huge he is, how amazing he is, how terrifying he is. The Bible says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. In fact, in Psalm 25, verse 14, it says, the friendship of the Lord is for those who fear him. Philippians says that we should work out our salvation with fear and trembling, understanding who he is, how powerful he is. But then once you understand that, and then you realize, wait a second, that God, in all of his glory that the angels are cowering, that God sent his son. He watched his son take the form of a man and be tortured on a cross, dying for everything I did wrong. You go, why would he do that? He loves me. He so loves me. Man, for a guy like me that grew up where no one even cared if I was dead or alive, suddenly I'm reading this good news about a holy, holy, holy God that says, I sent my son to die for you because I want to have relationship with you. I want to spend eternity with you. And I want to lead your life. You go, wow, that is great news. Because I will make a mess of my life. I actually want you to be the Lord. And all through my life, I was doing it again today. As I knew I was going to share this, I'm going, Lord, is there anything in my life that I've not given over to you? Because you've made my life wonderful for these last 40 years. And I want to keep going in this journey. And maybe some of you today, maybe you never understood God's holiness. And maybe you never understood the good news of him saying, I want the keys to your life. I want you to surrender everything to me.